Hello. Now, one question I've been pondering is this whole idea of gender fluidity being about having a dual nature, as opposed to something that might be akin to schizophrenia. Although schizophrenia is, I know, um, a chronic disorder. There are related disorders of varying degrees of intensity, as I understand it, personality and delusional disorders included among them. And perhaps with schizophrenia, and I'm no psychologist, but as I understand it, um, a sense of really being, as it were, two completely separate personalities that come alive at different times and which may not know each other. From that point of view, I'm very clear in my own experience. I can't, of course, speak for all people who identify as gender fluid, that that doesn't apply. Anya is well aware of Clive and vice versa. And they do have different personalities, that is for sure. But whether that is about, to some extent, the not the curated ability that we have as humans to present ourselves and create the narratives we want. There's a bit of an element of that, I'm sure, that comes into it, but more about the energies, the expression that has freedom, an opportunity to be channeled when I am presenting as one or the other. And that's an interesting question, perhaps to get into at some other point. So I think my first take is that this is more about having a dual nature. It is more about not being someone who is yet at the point of integrating masculine and feminine, but as someone who has a need, essentially, to physically, in an outward way, present as the world sees male and female. And I know I'm confusing masculine, feminine, male and female, but to enable those personalities to come to the fore and to be expressed. In other words, it's something that's not happening just internally for me. And I think the end point, as it were, if I were to achieve this integration, would be kind of like an overlapping of masculine and feminine. It's not really the same as having certainly an androgynous nature or a gender, in other words, genderless sense of no gender. Not at all. Certainly, there is real richness in being able to express these two polarities. But there is a point, I think, where they sort of come together, work together, complement each other, even though they are both, as it were, working within one body and with one individual soul, so to speak. So I think that's where I am on this question at the moment. Someone that, yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? If you're non-binary, you don't necessarily have to conform to being in a particular box, as it were, on a particular pole, but you can come close to this idea of having a dual nature. But they do express themselves at different times, and that, I think, is why people might see them as being something akin to a disorder like schizophrenia. Possibly too, and I'm sure this does play a part, the idea of subpersonalities that we all apparently have coming to the fore at different times, depending on, in my case, whether Anya or Clive is kind of ruling the show at the time. Anyway, these are initial thoughts. They are not definitive. They are purely my views, my experience as it is at the moment. It is a journey of learning, and I'm sure that I may well come back and have further reflections on this question in time to come.